Have you seen this video? It's possible, even likely, that you have. This guy has, and to steal Mr. Beast's words about it...
Just watch this, watch this. This is crazy. Look at his arm. Look at this. Look at that.
If you use TikTok at all, it's pretty likely that you came across this video at some point, as on that platform it has 26 million views and counting for some reason. Even if you are opposed to that particular social media app, as I was at one point in my life, it's been reposted everywhere on more platforms than I can keep track of and more times than I can count. But the question is, why? And I am truly curious about this myself. Obviously, I thought it was cool when I posted it, but I didn't really think it would be that interesting to anybody outside of the world of baseball. But clearly I was wrong, but... Now I have some thoughts as to why that is, and also there is a lot of evidence given in the comments of the video, which unfortunately I have read quite a bit of. Let's start with those, actually. Going to need this if we're going to read comments from one of my videos. Now, this video, at the time I'm recording this, has 25,276 comments. While I can't tell you exactly how many of them I've read, I can tell you for sure that it is too many for my own good. While the dominant portion of them were harmless, or just tagging someone, or just a general, like, whoa, reaction, there are definitely a good portion of the comments that give some kind of a clue as to why this was so popular for a video of me quite literally just throwing a pitch. One of the stranger ones that I've noticed is around when I posted it, I think it was around the same time the last season of the anime Attack on Titan came out, and many of the early comments on the video were comparing me to the Beast Titan throwing. I watched like 2 episodes of Attack on Titan and I just couldn't do it. So I had to go look this up, and honestly, I see where they're coming from. I get what they're saying. A lot of other comments also were comparing me to various anime or cartoon characters throwing things, and I guess that I look like a cartoon. Although oddly enough, every single reference came from something that I didn't really know well enough to know if what they were saying was accurate or not. Like everything that was said was something that I wasn't well versed in, and I had to go look it up to see, like, okay, wow, you actually do have a good point. I do look like these various cartoon characters doing things. This video actually took off again recently, and so much so that it prompted me to make this video about that video. But a lot of the comments this time were about Stranger Things, so much so that I actually had to make a comment about the fact that I have not watched it yet. I stopped after season 2, I waited a while for season 3, and I couldn't get back into it. I promise I'll finish it eventually, but a lot of them were relating to that, so there's a weird parallel between me and looking like something out of a TV show, although certainly not in the way that I would want it to be. Another huge portion of the comments were what I will simply classify as injury related. And these are all people who are either asking if I had somehow hurt myself in this particular throw, as if this isn't how I throw all the time, or people, who are very enlightened telling me that I'm going to get hurt, predicting that because they're so smart. Here's a little secret for you. Pretty much every pitcher gets hurt if they pitch for long enough. Pitching is incredibly stressful on your body. You are not clever for commenting Tommy John or something like that on a video of somebody pitching. It's pretty fucked up. I can go off for hours on why this particular brand of comment or prediction pisses me off, but that's not what we're here to talk about, so I won't. On to the last subset of comments, which are very weird to me, are the type of comments that were saying this was somehow attractive, and trust me, I'm baffled by this, and I don't mean like 1 or 2. There were a ton of these, and I'm not here to judge, but I also don't see how people came to this conclusion on a video that also had people saying that they were horrified and disgusted. Even more confusing than that, there was at least one comment that was in both of these categories at the same time. Anyway, on to why I think people were so fascinated with this video. It's relatively simple, I think, and there are 2 main parts. Part 1, something that I said before, pitching is the most violent motion in all of sports. Literally, it really is. The internal rotation of the arm is the fastest and most violent motion in all of sports. But on the other hand, it happens incredibly quickly. So you never really get to see truly how intense throwing is on the body. Enter my friend Dean and an Edgertronic camera. My friend Dean Jackson is the director of special projects at Driveline Baseball. And when I went out to Arizona to train with him in 2020, like peak COVID, he took this video of me during live at-bats at like a high school or something with some people we were training with. And he took it with an Edgertronic camera, which is it's a very high quality, high speed camera that can take videos up to 35,000 frames per second. The video in question here is actually only about 500 frames per second, but that's still about twice as fast as the highest frame rate possible on, say, your iPhone in slow-mo mode. Here's a video of me throwing that I took with my phone, and then here is the video of me that was taken with the Edgertronic at about twice the frame rate. So it's slower and has a lot more detail than what you're used to seeing even in slow motion, which allows you to really see what the arm goes through during the course of the throw. Which brings us to part 2. I am incredibly mobile, and I have sort of a weird throwing motion to begin with. I throw sidearm, as many of you have probably noticed by this point, so my motion by default looks pretty weird. Add in the fact that I have 99th percentile mobility in pretty much every joint in my body due to what is most likely a genetic issue related to collagen, and you have a recipe for a pitching motion that is going to look incredibly painful to the average person. A lot of the comments that related to that said something to the effect of, I don't think bodies are supposed to bend that way. And while I understand them, I have to admit that they definitely annoy me to a certain degree. You think this looks painful because your body cannot bend this way, but that doesn't make it bad for me. My body can move this way. So just because yours can't doesn't make this any worse for me. Like, it's fine to say, this looks painful. On the other hand, it is not okay to say, this can't be healthy, you're going to get hurt because this looks painful to me. It's a fine line, but at a certain point you cross over and it becomes pretty offensive to me, the person doing the thing that you're watching. Either way, I think that is definitely a contributing factor as to why this drew such severe reactions from people. And last but not least, not really a third factor, but just a little thing, is that I did do a little bit of a funny with this. The music in the background is Vienna by Billy Joel, which obviously I can't put in this video because I don't want YouTube to come shoot me through the head. I lined it up so that it says, slow down, right on the part where the video slows down, which is very clever. It's I'm very funny, as you can tell. But anyway, yeah, that's just a little breakdown of this video that was very pervasive throughout the internet from the guy who is the subject of it. I don't really know what happened. It's very weird to me. That video is the sole reason that I have more followers on TikTok than all of my other social media combined, which is very weird to me. Not a sentence I thought I'd ever say. I was very against the entire platform for a very long time until I was complaining about the quality of baseball content that I had seen from TikTok. And then Richard's staff challenged me to do better if I thought that I was better than that. And this is where we are. Anyway, I just wanted to do this and get this out there. So I'll see you.